I'm Billie Eilish, and this is the first time. We were sitting in my garage, and we were with a couple of his friends, just like kind of playing random nothingness. Like somebody was playing like guitar, and somebody was playing some stuff on some drums. I don't even remember. It was like just the most horrible sounding music from all of us. And then my brother started playing this little patch, and then we just started writing, and it was actually Bellyache that we started writing.
My V is for vendetta. I thought that I'd feel better, and now I got a bellyache.
We wrote the rest kind of just like, I think I was sitting on my bed and he came in with his guitar and we just wrote a song. When we wrote Hostage, because we had written only a couple songs before that, and they had all been kind of a perfect process, and then Hostage came about.
Like us did.
I think both of us, I don't mean to speak for him, but I do think both of us were kind of like, oh, this is like really working. There was just kind of a feeling there that we were just like, this is what we're gonna do, because this works, you know? And it has worked. Obviously, it still works. I was at the barn that I used to ride horses at, and it was a day of summer camp, and I was like a horse camp counselor. And I was with a friend of mine who was also another counselor, and we were in the middle of like a lesson. And we were just goofing off, not really paying attention, even though we were the ones like in charge. And she was like, have you heard of Tyler? And I was like, no. And she was like, wait, what do you mean? I was like, who is that? And she was like, Tyler, the Creator. Your profile picture is literally him. And it was true. I had Tyler, the Creator as my profile picture before I even knew who he was, because I just thought it was a cool picture. So she was disappointed in that. And then she played me Tamale, which was kind of like, it was huge at the time.
Why y'all so salty? How Tamale is on.
Still such a fucking good song. And then we listened to Tamale with like a bunch of like 5-year-olds riding horses all around us. It was great. I was sitting on the corner of my bed and I was like just looking at my computer, and I remember I had my phone, my iPod, plugged into this little like charging speaker alarm thing, and it was on shuffle because growing up, like my brother always would get music and then it would be in my library, so then I'd hear something I liked, and it was just because my brother liked it years ago. And so I just put everything on shuffle, and I found this song called Heartbeat.
I want you to know that I am ready to go. Heartbeat, my heartbeat.
Like immediately I just stopped what I was doing and I was like, what? And I looked over at my phone and it said it was some artist named Childish Gambino, and from an album called Campfire. And I remember just sitting there looking at my phone, or at my iPod, play the song, and I just was like in awe. I felt like I was like introduced to a new world. It was a crazy moment. I remember like thinking like, where have I been? This has been out there and I've just been sitting here. I used to have dance every day, and like I always had a different schedule every day, obviously. And so I remember that day I had like 4 classes, but I had like an hour break in between 2 of them. But I remember one of those days, I think it was either the day after we put Ocean Eyes out or like 2 days after.
You know how to make me cry when you give me those ocean eyes.
And I remember I was sitting in Starbucks. It was kind of cold outside. It was like, I think it might have been raining or something. And I was just sitting there and my brother called me and he was like, dude, Ocean Eyes has 1,000 plays. 1,000, which now is like an ant. But then it was like, it's still a lot of people. It's just, it's funny now how different it is relative to things now. But then it was like, he called me to tell me because it was such a big deal. And I remember being like, for real? Like I was sitting in Starbucks and I got so excited, and I started like, I was like, oh my God. And we were like yelling on the phone, and it was such a moment. We were on the phone for so long freaking out about it that I looked at my phone to see the time, and it was like after my next class had already started, which was at the other studio. So I was like, oh my God, I gotta go. And I remember like hanging up the phone and like grabbing my bag and grabbing my stupid little hibiscus, whatever the fuck. And I like picked it up and I just like ran with like the biggest smile on my face because I was so excited, and I just ran to the other studio in my leotard. It was great. It was great. Dude, the first time I watched The Office, I have absolutely no memory of it at all. I just started watching it the 13th time, all around, all the way through. 13th time has just begun, so no clue when I started at all. At all. The day before I got my license, only to move it from the front to the back so that I could wash it without being obviously, look, it's Billie Eilish washing her car right there, because everybody's driving by all the time. So I moved it to the back, and then school got out, and then a million people walked by, and they all saw me and started taking pictures, so I had to go back inside. But technically that's not legal, but I just drove it around the block, so don't worry about it. That was the first time I drove it alone. Before my license. Whoops.